Jesus fucking Christ, what is this place? Oh my
Shut the fuck up. You two bitches were just me. Never had any ideas smarter than getting yourselves a little bit more.
It was just fun. I mean, it was literally, what can we do with the story, which is already great. What can we do visually now with those story points to make things that much more interesting?
Bye, Loopy-Loop!
When Ernest came to us and said he wanted to do this practical creature movie, we just didn't think there was any other kind. So we were all super gung-ho, but he really wanted to keep it old school and sort of keep the feel of like old 80s films and have a sense of history in the methodology as well as the story that was being told. And I thought that was really cool, and I thought it added so much to the style of the film. The fact that he'd done so many effects himself in the past in so many other films and was so comfortable in the genre and with the kind of stuff that we did just made it really fun because you spoke the same language with the person right off the bat, which was great. But he had a wealth of knowledge and experience to draw from, and so did we. So it was great to say, well, we tried this on this show, and what do you think of that? And he'd be like, his response would be, I tried something similar and let's do this. And it was very easy to sort of like build on a foundation because there was one from the get-go. And it was really nice to be able to experiment knowing that there was an understanding by the director, a comprehension of what we were doing. It made it really fun. And the fact that we were doing everything real made it really exciting because some of the stuff was super challenging, and trying to take the stuff from the 80s and sort of turn it on its end and come up with a new angle on it was really a lot of fun.
Die!
This was one of those films where we got to try a lot of really unique new things, and somebody else was footing the bill for it, which made it very exciting. But we also got to meet a lot of really great people, and Snoop Dogg was one of them. And we went to his house to do the body cast of him laying on the ground, when his body reconstructs. And we did it in his garage on the floor, and it was myself and a couple of the other guys from here. And we did his body from the waist up. We did his head separate and stuff like that. Had never met him before, and had the best time. He totally messed with us at the beginning, and it was great. And we messed with him at the end. And I think everything we did in that scene came out really well because he was just as invested in the process of doing it as he was in doing the performance. He really made a difference. And when we got to his place, he has a recording studio in his garage, and there were a bunch of guys in there recording music, and he sort of took a break from being a producer at the moment to go step out and basically take off his shirt and get life cast. But we had great conversations about the character and the guy's pose and what he envisioned it looking like and stuff from the very beginning. So he was very much part of the creative process.
Officer Slupovich, a.k.a. Loopy Loop.
Not your style. Is it, Eddie Mac? Killing off your customers?
One of the things that I was really excited about, but also the most hesitant and sort of scared to tackle, was the whole idea of Lupovich being seen in flashbacks and in present day. And the idea, the question came up, are we going to age a younger guy or try and make an older guy look more youthful? It's obviously easier to add stuff. So we kind of went down this interesting route where we added a lot of weight to him in his older years, and we kind of bulked him up and made his skin more pockmarked and tried to make him look like more of a repository of his soul and his evilness. So we added on the pounds, and we added on the facial scarring, and the deep set eyes and the eye bags and everything else. And it was really all about trying to just make him look like he physically embodied the corruption that was in his heart, in his soul. And I thought that was a really cool idea. We'd never done a fat makeup before. And we'd only done some minor aging stuff, I think, at the time. We were really fortunate in the fact that Barry Coper was available to go on set and do the application of the makeups while we were down in LA, still building the walls and all the dissolving body, which was the reconstituting body and all that stuff. But Barry Coper had done the Santa Claus movies on Tim Allen, and I knew that he knew his stuff with that. So there was complete peace of mind. And in hindsight, I wish we could have done something with his hair, because he had this giant, thick mass of hair that, we needed to like knock it down, but we weren't able to. But other than that, I think it worked really well. And it worked well, too, in regards to the fact that once he gets his head cut off and it's carried around.
Shut the fuck up.
All we did was literally take his heavy set prosthetics and cut them off and then make a little stump front to that. And it was like he was all ready for VFX, just with us putting his regular makeup on.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Gangster in love don't eat no fried chicken.
Oh shit.
We had to match a live dog for the demon dog, but it was supposed to be a possessed version of the real dog. And the real dog didn't have black fur. They colored him to look black. And then we took photos of the real dog, and then we stylized that further to create sort of this evil, possessed version of him. And we put in we had eyes that glowed and eyes that were white, and we had tubes that fit into the body to shoot vermicelli, to represent maggots. And the dog got way more complicated than we were expecting it to. And then it also has to sort of like attack people, so we had like paws. And it ended up becoming basically the front 2/3 of a dog as an animatronic character. That was an interesting experience too. A guy here named Lilo Tava was the lead artist on Necropolis. And he came up with this sort of modular system, almost like theater flats, of all these pieces that would fit together that had three-dimensional forms on the front of them that also had like a different sort of design line so that those pieces could fit together, so that everything looked like this sort of undulating mass of bodies, and all the forms sort of flowed together to sort of make this one wall. It didn't look choppy or tiled or anything like that. And then there were areas where there were cavities built into that where a person could fit in a particular pose. And a couple spaces towards the bottom where people could actually stand back into it and kind of sink back into it so that their head and face was level to the fake ones on either side of them. And then they could step out of that and move towards you. So the engineering aspect of that was pretty interesting. And then there was a section that came out and could be replaced by a section that had the giant eyeball. And the eyeball was like 3.5 feet across. It was this massive thing with like a double pupil. What's good about things like that when they get to that ridiculous scale is somebody can literally stand behind it and make it move, which we did. And then having to choreograph the people stepping out and the movement of the walls, and then the undulation of the bladders and the push rods that were like pistons in sections of the wall. That was like a whole nother event in and of itself. And once all the wall pieces were trucked up to Canada and it was reassembled, then we had a team of local people. We had Connor McCullough, who is Canadian and American. He went up along with, we had Barry doing a lot of the makeups for the close-up faces that came out. We had Connor involved in some of those. We had Rachel and a bunch of other people that were local that were super talented. And everybody just sort of like jumped in and had to like put all these nurnies and latex pieces and stuff on these people in G-strings and then paint them all up. And these poor folks then had to get pushed into these cavities in the wall and get slimed up and then stretch out of the wall with all this slime coming out. And we did a couple little homages in the wall too. There's like one guy that steps out from the wall and he actually has Bruce Campbell's extended jaw from Army of Darkness when he's trying to climb out of the book and his jaw extends really down and it's being stretched. So we threw that in there and a couple other little things, which made it kind of fun too. It's not a fast process, and the scene is it's a wide shot, and lighting, everything, all the timing, it all adds up. So you have to give credit to these people that were still there at the end of the day, wearing Bruce Campbell's giant jaw and whatever other funky pieces they had on, and giving their all in these performances. And some of them are hanging through holes off of scaffolding behind the wall because they're coming out of the wall at a different height than the people that were on floor level. So it's sort of like this weird gymnastic wall of freaks, for lack of a better term. No, I think there was a discussion where if there was a chance to like add layers to things or enhance things, that digital might be an option. But I think Ernest was really genuinely wanting everything to happen in camera. So Snoop's body melting, there were 3 stages of body, each one at a different state of reconstruction. And they had different skins with different layers of different colored waxes and other materials that we would use heat guns to melt. And then all that footage was printed in reverse. And then he assembled the different stages of the bodies to look like it was all one body going through a longer, more involved process. But I think the idea from the beginning was, let's see how much of this we can pull off in your face and wow you. And then if it's wanky, we'll cut away. And if it's not, we'll keep going. And maybe this new digital technology might be able to help us blend some things together. And, you know, it was really more about the mood of the scene than the effect.
Dog eat dog, brother. Dog eat dog.
I feel like it was sort of a missed opportunity. I think the marketing was very selective, and it's not like you go on a computer and it's in your face no matter what you do. It's where the billboards are and where the ads are playing and where the print ads are coming out. And that was very selective, and they didn't reach as broad as they could have because the audience was there. You know, I think time has shown that the audience is there. It's fascinating that it's had the life that it has. It's pretty great. It would be fun to revisit these characters now at whatever age everybody is now and sort of see where they're at. And there's a charm now to the datedness, to like the wardrobe and some of this stuff. And I think the 80s are in right now. So there's just this sort of wave of nostalgia that the audience now puts on top of it. And I feel like the characters and the story merit so much more than that. And they are acknowledged for so much more than that. It would be great to see them picked up again with a new story and see where things go. Where's that building now and what's happened? If Candyman can do it, why can't Bones do it?